Today's guest on the podcast is right now finishing up his sophomore year at Stonehill College in the NE10. Last year, in 28 games, he had 7 goals and 16 assists for 23 total points and a spot on the NE10 all-rookie team. Of course, all of that to go along with the conference championship after the second half of the century. Please welcome to the podcast from the Stonehill Skyhawks, Brendan Nehmer. Brendan, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. I appreciate you having me out here. Pretty excited.
Oh, I'm pumped. Like I said before we got on, anytime someone responds with like I'm pumped to be here or that sounds sick, like I know it's gonna be an unreal interview. And you've got a pretty sick like background coming into college hockey. So like it's gonna be a cool little conversation talking about your route to Stonehill.
Yeah, definitely. It's been quite the journey. 21 years of just grind pretty much. So I'm excited to talk about it.
And you pretty much first of all, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Like I got started. When I started doing my research, I saw your birthday was like what, 3 days ago?
Yeah, Friday.
That's pretty sick. And you're a local Mass kid too. East Longmeadow, Mass. I think I pass like the exit for it as I'm going through Springfield, coming up to Franklin Pierce, like every time I drive.
Oh yeah. Where are you about?
I'm from New Jersey, so I got to hike.
Yeah.
But you're not far from Stonehill. So like, who did you play for growing up in youth hockey?
Growing up, I played for the New England Junior Falcons 2000 team. We played out in Enfield, Connecticut. It's like 15 minutes from my house. Played there pretty much from 4 to 14, I guess.
That's pretty sick. So you played in Connecticut. So you didn't play in that like MHSL or MSHL league, did you?
No, we played in, I want to say it was the EHF, like the Fed, against like the Junior Eagles, Terriers, Bandits, all those guys.
That's pretty sick. And so you're from kind of like southwestern Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
All right. I passed the exit. I still don't know like Massachusetts geography. You could tell me
Yeah.
the name of a town and I'll be like, oh yeah, I've been there, but I don't know where in the world it is.
Yeah. East Longmeadow is pretty out there. Being from Western Mass, I usually get some shit for it, but it's not that bad. You just got to try it out.
But it's not even like you're from like the boonies. You're from like a pretty populated area. Like Springfield is right there. You're right near it. You're right next to Connecticut. So it's not a bad part of
Yeah.
West.
Not bad at all. I mean, you go like 20 minutes more west of me. Yeah, you're in the boonies, but Springfield is just a beautiful city, man. It's just incredible. So having that right next door is not too bad.
Now that you're 21, you're gonna hit that MGM casino up.
Yeah, if I wasn't in quarantine right now, I'd probably be there. But we had some unfortunate bounces last week with the team, so pretty much stuck in my room.
That's tough. We had that first semester with our guys. They had one of their roommates who wasn't on the team tested positive, and it was a false positive, so they all got thrown in quarantine.
Yeah, we've definitely had a couple of those. You never know. It sucks that it's like this right now, but you really can't do anything about it. So it's whatever.
At least the boys still got to hang out though, right? Like you guys still like kind of do something on the weekends, maybe not throw parties, but roller hockey outside.
Yeah, when it's nice out, we rip some roller out behind like our big stadium there. It's always a good time to get a couple of boys out. But yeah, we pretty much just keep our groups like small. It's not worth the risk, honestly, just because if we were going to practice or whatever, have a game. So just like probably 8 to 12 of us just kind of kicking back, watching hockey, golf, whatever.
You guys didn't get to play any games this year, did you?
No, we were supposed to have our first game against Norwich on Saturday. But obviously last week kid tested positive. So didn't get to go out there. We actually have a game coming up a week from today. We're playing Johnson and Wales, I believe. So looking forward to that. Even if it's the only one, it's better than nothing. So.
Oh yeah, it's some sort of a sophomore season. You get at least one game in, get on the ice a little bit. But so I want to go back a little bit. I want to go to high school. So you played for 3 different prep schools in 5 years, or private schools in 5 years. You played your 14-15 season and 15-16 season for Springfield Cathedral. And then you moved to Pope Francis for 16-17 and 17-18. And then you did a PG year at Williston Northampton in 17-18. So what kind of orchestrated your movements throughout high school hockey?
Well, so Cathedral and Pope Francis actually the same school, just a name change. So I was there for 4 years. There was a tornado back in 2011 that kind of ripped the school apart. So they had to like do a bunch of stuff just to keep the school intact. So they ended up changing names and merging with another school. So that was Pope. But like my first or all 4 years there were awesome. Had a great coach, Brian Foley. And my freshman year there, we had, I want to say, like 8 Division I commits. We were just a powerhouse. So obviously I didn't touch the ice much, but being a 14-year-old playing with guys that are drafted in the NHL, D1, playing pro in the coast, like whatever. But definitely a good way to start my high school career and kind of just like get the stepping stones ready and just kind of excel from there. Just a bunch of great leaders, and they left the next year, and we kind of still had a wagon of a team pretty much for almost 4 years. So never really felt the need to leave there at all. So just finished out 4 years. It was 10 minutes from my house. And we always made a run for the Super 8. So definitely probably the best 4 years of my life so far. I mean, I don't have any complaints about that at all. It was awesome.
Do you like, are you watching like your buddies or old teammates that just like, or old kids you played against start and make like their NHL debuts now, or you started watching it past couple years?
Yeah. I mean, John Leonard was on my team that year, my freshman year. Just made his NHL debut this year. Played like, I want to say 10 games or something already. So pretty sweet to see that. And Keith Petruzzelli, our goalie at Quinnipiac, making a run for the national championship this year, coming up a little short, but it's always awesome to see your buddies just kind of going out there, living the dream.
That is. And then they get to play hockey past like the college level, play for as long
Yeah.
as possible. That's the goal. And then obviously you did your PG year at Williston, Northampton. Did you know that you wanted to do a 5th year in school? Or was it something that your last year, your senior year, you said you kind of looked at as an option?
Yeah. I mean, I never really thought about it too much. Kind of just wanted to live in the moment in high school and enjoy it with my buddies. But I don't know. There was a lot of decisions to be made. Obviously, juniors and going for a PG year have their pros and cons, but I think the biggest thing for me was Williston. The coach showed me a lot of interest, and obviously, you want to go somewhere you're going to play. So, and I'm not the brightest kid, so extra year of school couldn't hurt me anymore. But yeah, no, it was definitely worth it. You know, juniors. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard good things, bad things. Like I'm happy with the decision I made, but yeah, it was a good time overall. It sucked being 18 and like being stuck at school, having rules, but other than that, no complaints.
It's so funny because you mentioned you've heard good stories and bad stories. There are some like scary programs out there that are
Yeah,
like you don't know how bad of a program is until you like show up and they're like, oh yeah, we have no locker room. You get no food. You got to drive yourself to a way. It's like that's kind of tough.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you see things like Chucky Slick playing in the NA3, whatever, back in his day, like just living the dream. Then you hear guys like, I don't even want to play hockey anymore. So it's
Yeah.
like, kind of just got to pick your poison, I guess.
And so obviously you said it kind of sucked being 18, all the rules, prep school. I didn't go the prep school route. I know a bunch of kids that did. And every school seems to be different. Some are super strict. Some are kind of lenient. Was Northampton kind of strict, like a lot of rules, or was it kind of lenient? You were living away from home, kind of go with the flow a little bit, or was it just like they kind of had a tight grasp on you?
I wouldn't say a tight grasp, but obviously, like for legal, they kind of got to be responsible for most kids under 18. So, depending on who you lived with, so I was obviously with another PG. We had PGs across the hall. And our dorm parent, just the guy who lived with us, was pretty chill with us. Just knowing that like we should be in college, all of our friends are partying right now, but we're stuck here on a Friday night, like having study hall from 8 to 10 with a Saturday class the next morning. It's like it's no fun, and he understood that. But like you had to like sign out to like walk down the street and get permission and all this stuff. Kind of sucked. So, but it was all right because I was close enough to go home. It was like 40 minutes from my house on the weekends. So I'd do that and just kind of go live my life somewhere else for the weekend. But yeah, yeah,
That's pretty sick. You got to kind of leave on the weekends a little bit. I knew a kid who went to prep school and he was doing like the whole junior hockey tryouts. and he had his car on campus, obviously, and they made him hand in his keys every time he got back to campus from a tryout that he couldn't leave with his own.
Yeah.
That's a tight grasp.
Yeah, that's definitely tight. I mean, we couldn't have a car at all, so I guess he's got that a little bit better than us. But yeah, we had like one kid with a car on our team because we had split season away games before the season started. So he was the only one. But yeah.
And so obviously your senior season at Northampton, you got 27 points in 27 games, point per game guy. And Stonehill, obviously NA10 school, they're big in this conference. I don't know why, but they're like huge on getting kids before they age out. And it's just like this conference, just D2 hockey. And I don't know why. But were they kind of big on you? Were they kind of getting their foot in the door on the recruitment process a little early and trying to get you to be a Skyhawk?
Honestly, no. It was kind of crazy. So I'd been talking to a couple schools during that season, and all like a couple NE10s, and Assumption was showing the most interest actually. So that guy was kind of on me a lot, and I went to like sign up for the open house day at Stonehill, and I texted the coach, and I'd never talked to him before. I was like, "Hey, I'm coming this day. Like, can I meet up with you, have a talk or whatever?" Never got back to me. So I'm sitting, and I ended up coming to Stonehill just to look around, and I'm like walking out, leaving to go home, and I get a text. He's like, "Hey, can you meet me in my office?" And I was like, "Wow, okay, yeah, like definitely." So I ended up having a pretty good talk with him, but before that, I really just didn't get anything. But like I said, Assumption was like very adamant on me going there. But I just had a feeling like Stonehill was the better option. Obviously, it was based on my freshman year, but yeah, it was just not the typical recruitment story, honestly.
You guys played that South Shore Kings rink, right?
Yeah, we did last year. Now we're over in Bridgewater. Just got a brand new locker room built. It's pretty nice, but looking forward to using it, hopefully.
Yeah. Because I was gonna say your rink's a lot better than at least so Assumption got a new rink now too. Because they used to play in the FMC rink with that wicked short glass.
That was awful. Awful.
God. I called the semifinal game. So I do a lot of broadcasting here at Bring Up Pierce. We went down the semifinal game at Assumption, and I legit like was dodging pucks in warm-ups, sitting up in the stage far side. Terrible. I hated it. I hate FMC sports so much just because like there's no open hockey and the rinks suck. But
yeah,
you guys have a pretty sick rink.
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. It's still Bridgewater's nice too. I'm excited to start somewhere new. Obviously, you miss the rink that you first play in Foxborough and win a championship at, but things happen. So
do you guys usually get a ton of fans? Like it's not a rink that's on campus, so you guys got to drive a little bit to get there.
Yeah, it depended on the game, I guess. Like when we played Franklin Pierce towards the end of the season, we had our Hope Happens Here game. That one was pretty packed. Obviously for a good cause. So a lot of people came out and supported us. But on like a typical Friday, Saturday night, obviously have the parents there, a good amount of parents, and then a handful, sometimes a couple handfuls of students there, like other sports teams just coming out because we usually do the same for them. So yeah, nothing really crazy though. Besides the championship was pretty packed.
So I was there, obviously, with Franklin.
Yeah.
Now, we're gonna talk about that because there's like no way you can't. But I want to talk about the first half of the season first. You guys started with a win. You guys started your season with a win against UMass Dartmouth, so got off on the right foot. But that was your only win of the first half of the season. So
yeah.
what was the locker room kind of like during the like the first couple months of the year?
You know, it was tough. You win that first game, wasn't our best performance either, but you know, just being 2-7 ish, 2-7, and the energy was kind of dead for the most part, but we were just kind of hoping for one game just to put us back in it, and didn't really happen. Just like the whole atmosphere on our team, it's not, well, I wouldn't say like bad, but it's just like, all right, like we really need to get it going. And then it wouldn't happen. It's like, all right, this is just so frustrating. Especially for our seniors, you know, they get a couple more goes at a couple games, and it's like we're losing and we just look terrible. But obviously you can't win them all, but you got to win a couple, which sucks when you just you can't get a bounce. We just take so many penalties every game. A lot of misconducts. Like we were in the box for half the game sometimes, and you can't win like that. Not against a good team. So just maybe penalties, and that's really it. I mean, we were a good team, just couldn't put it together.
And it's obviously like you said, not the most fun time to be a Stonehill hockey player. It's definitely easier getting to the rink when you're winning, and like heading to the game, you're rolling. It's just a better feeling, and when you don't got that, it's not the greatest. And so obviously something happened during intercession that you guys just like it clicked. And I've got the unofficial answer, and that's you guys lost to Framingham State because that program hasn't been doing too hot lately. And I can say that a little bit. I know a bunch of the kids on the team, and one of the kids was joking around with me that that's what it was. But so what really happened during that intercession, like that, just something just flipped for you guys?
Yeah, I guess you could say that's the unofficial answer. I've never really thought about it like that, but it works. It's just like we just clicked. The team bonding after the break. We were on campus for 2 weeks before anyone got back. So we really just us hanging out, like just getting together, having fun. And I think a big thing for us was last year we practiced at 7 a.m. in Foxborough. It's a 20-minute ride. You're waking up at 5:45, the latest every morning to go play in a freezing cold rink. It's like, it's really tough, and you got to battle through it. And it was always, we always had good practices, but over break, we got practice at like 1:30 in the afternoon. You could tell right away. It was like our energy was up. Like we were just buzzing. It was crazy. And it showed in our games. Like we were just so ready for the games after that. And I think honestly, that was the reason why we just came out so hot, because we were just ready to go and had like high tempo every day.
And you played with a kid, Matt Shane, obviously like the NA10 goalie of the year last year. He's a big part of you guys' success in that conference championship. Is he just like a sick dude off the ice?
Yeah, Matt. I actually lived pretty close to him. I hung out with him a couple of weeks ago. Played some pond hockey. He's a really nice kid, super smart, just a hard worker. But yeah, he played incredible. There's no way we could have done that without him at all. There were games that we probably shouldn't have won that we did, and like he would have 30 plus saves and just bailing us out every other shift. It was crazy.
And then so end of the season, you have your last series. It's actually at St. Mike's. You played in the postseason. You lost 4-2 game 1 on Friday, and then you tied 3-3 on game 2 on Saturday. So then you obviously make the playoffs. You're the 4 seed going into the playoffs. You're going back to St. Mike's. That's a hike, by the way. You're going up to Vermont. Like the legs are not under you when you get off that bus trying to get ready for a game. But you go to overtime. Was that game sick? Like, was it an unreal game?
Yeah, that was crazy. Just to win in overtime, they were a very good team. They packed the barn. It was just like everyone against us, and they're so loud in there, and it just pumps you up. We came out pretty well. We knew we could beat them. We'd done it before, so just to get a quick, I think they might have scored first or something, but it was just a neck and neck game the whole way, and just to take it to OT and get a good bounce. Pretty crazy goal, actually. I don't know if you've seen it. Goalie got taken out, and kid had an empty net on our team. So kind of a wild goal to send us to the championship.
Was he like in the slot when he scored?
Yeah, he got the puck at like the blue line, and then St. Mike's defenseman pushed one of our guys into his own goalie. The kid was in the corner, and he just shot it from the top of the circle on an empty net. But yeah, it was great.
So the bus ride home was a pretty fun one.
Oh yeah, they're always fun after a win on the road, especially knowing that you got the finals coming up a week later. So yeah, we definitely.
I can tell you coming out of Assumption that night, like obviously like my broadcasting partner and I, we don't take the team bus. Like that'd be kind of fucked up if we were taking the team bus with the boys. But we got back at about the same time as them, and it was a fun night because you don't have a game the next day. Finals aren't for another week. But really, like, we're sitting there, we're like glued to our phones. We have our SID texting us the updates, like when you're playing, where you're playing, like what's going on. But at the same time, you're enjoying the fact that you just won in a semifinal game. You're about to go to the championship game. And you guys, obviously, you were the higher seed, or you were the 3 seed going to the playoffs. Sorry, you weren't the 4 seed.
Yeah, I think,
And so you get to play a home game, and it was played at Warrior. Do you like know why it was played at Warrior?
I think we just couldn't get any ice at Foxborough, honestly. But it kind of worked out because if that was at Foxborough, there was no room for anyone.
It was packed. Like it was, and it was so, like, it was insane. Like it was such a fun game to be at in the stands. Getting ready for the game, playing wise, was it like you're in warm ups and you look around and the seats started to fill in? Are you one of those guys where you're feeding off like the crowd's energy?
Yeah, definitely. I think the crowd energy helps a lot. But when you're in a situation where you get to battle for a championship, I don't even think I acknowledged anyone in the crowd. I was kind of just laser focused on the game.
That's unreal. And then obviously you guys, you scored first. You scored twice, I think, before Franklin Pierce scored. You guys like led that game. I think Franklin Pierce had more shots. Like I don't have the box score pulled up, but like you guys were just leading it. Like it was obvious that you guys were going to win that game. You guys had more chances, more just a better quality play. And it was the like the perfect ending to your second half of the season. Like it was a storybook kind of season where you like you were shit in the first half, and then all of a sudden something happens. You come back, you're playing well, you make the playoffs, you make the championship game, and then all of a sudden you're buzzing. Was it unreal being able to win that conference championship in your freshman year?
Yeah, it was pretty special because we knew we had a special group of guys right from the start, even before the season started. We knew we were going to be good, but you got to put it together, which we didn't do at first. But just to kind of get that win at the end and on a good note, seeing that last empty net goal going, just like it's like 1,000,000 pounds off your shoulders, just go up 3-1 with like I want to say a minute left. Pretty crazy. It's definitely exciting too. You work hard for championships your whole life, and I've come up pretty short in a couple in high school, and just to get it back felt really good, especially with the group of guys we had. No regrets at all. So I'm glad we battled out and came out on top. But I think not that we knew we were going to win that game, but I think with our confidence level in the second half, and we played them 2 or 3 weeks before and won like 7-2 or something, I think we knew we were going to win that game. But obviously we didn't take it for granted. You had the battle still because FPU is a good team. To have that Lester kid, I think that freshman is Foley.
Yeah. Connor.
Yeah. So definitely didn't want to take it too lightly, which I was scared of, honestly. I was just hoping no one was going to do that. But ended up working out.
That empty net goal, by the way, gave you an extra point. You got the secondary assist on that. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Always gotta like pad the stats totals. You know what I mean? Like, gotta make that any 10 all rookie team.
Take the assist for sure.
Oh yeah. So obviously that was kind of late, March 10th. I think that game was something like early-ish in the month. Not long after that, we got sent home. So our spring break got turned into summer break. What was Stonehill kind of like after you guys played that game?
We were already on spring break, actually. That's why we had like not many students there. So a lot of parents, but it was pretty crazy. When we were like 2-7, we booked Fort Lauderdale, and the flight was the next morning at like 5 a.m. So after the game, we were just all obviously fired up. It was just us on campus, so we had the whole hockey house to ourselves, and we were just firing on all cylinders. And then no sleep, just want to say like 5 hours of just getting after it. And then we're in Boston at Logan, hopping on a flight to Fort Lauderdale for the week. So that was pretty crazy.
That's actually unreal. Like you left. I didn't know that. You guys left like hours after that game. Ended up in Fort Lauderdale. That's a pretty sick celebration.
We were like, we're 2-7. We're not making the playoffs. This shouldn't interact with our schedule at all. And next thing you know, it all worked out. So
Was there one kid in the locker room that was like, guys, we're not gonna get to go to Florida now? Like,
I don't think anyone was really worried about it. I think everyone kind of just wanted to win.
yeah, I was gonna say like that's like getting bummed out for the wrong reason there, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we lose that game. Fort Lauderdale's not the same either. So
No, not at all. So I obviously like, I'm not happy that you guys won. Like at Franklin Pierce, I try and find as much success with the boys as possible, but like that makes it a little easier that you guys got to go to Florida. Like that's like
yeah.
that's a sick situation. So you guys are in Florida. Did you guys ever get to come back or was it all online for the rest of the year?
No, we never got to come back. I think we were there for like 3 or 4 days, and that's when they like canceled it for like 2 weeks. And then I want to say the next day it was like everything's done online. So we ended up staying for the full week, and then because Florida was still fine, so got the full week out of it. Came home and just chilled, enjoyed the win. Just probably a lot of benders for sure, but yeah, it was unreal.
And you said, I don't know if you said this before we started or if it was during, but you're reigning NE10 champs 2 years in a row. Obviously, no NE10 season this year. Has it been kind of difficult to hang out with the boys and kind of bond as a team with all of this COVID stuff going on?
Yeah, it's been tough. You try to follow the rules as much as possible, but obviously it doesn't always work out like that. So we've had our get-togethers. Like I said, watch hockey, golf. A good amount of us hang out. I think we have practiced. We were practicing every day until we got quarantined. So being able to hang out in the locker room with some of the guys and just have fun on the ice is pretty much all we can do besides hockey and golf. So it's not ideal, but luckily we have 6-7 months to figure it out and get pretty close before the next season.
Yeah, and you guys, you have a pretty decent amount of freshmen, like 8 or 9 freshmen on your team this year. Did you guys like try and get them in the mix as early as possible? You're kind of mixing a couple of them into those little small groups.
Oh yeah, they're all pretty social kids, so I think right off the bat, all of them are just kind of in with us, like just hanging out every day, whatever. But yeah, they're all nice kids, and we all enjoy hanging out with them. So it was definitely an easy transition for them, I think. So it's been good.
That's unreal. And then obviously, or not obviously, but one more question. Same question everybody gets at the end. So I don't know your head coach's name. I didn't do my homework, I guess. If he gives you a recruit and says, I want this kid wearing purple next year, what are you telling the kid to get him to come to Stonehill?
I actually did this with one of my buddies recently. Honestly, I think it's all about the education here and the campus. Obviously, the sports are great, but the education you're going to get here is pretty high tier. So definitely the first thing I recommend. But the campus too. I don't know if you've seen it all, but it's pretty nice. No complaints about that. Brand new business building. I'm a marketing major, so having that is pretty sick. But yeah,
I gotta ask, are you guys getting women's hockey players now? Like starting to come to Stonehill?
Haven't had any yet. I'm not sure the whole situation on that. I think we were supposed to start this coming season, like 2021, 22, but with COVID, I'm not sure if they pushed it back or I have no idea.
Well, they might have. Right here, it's saying 22, 23. So I guess you're not going to get him for a couple years.
Yeah, maybe not then.
Damn, that sucks. I can't. So I want the NE10 to stop having hockey, and I want it to go to like the women are D1 and the guys are D1. So AIC is an NE10 school, but they have D1 hockey. Merrimack has D1 hockey, but they're an NE10 school, or they used to be. Now they're all D1. I think why not add the extra D1 conference, right?
Yeah, I know. We've talked about that before, just like me and my buddies, but hopefully that'd be pretty sick for the future. We probably wouldn't see that era, but it'd be kind of nice. Just as long as they built a rink on campus for us. Hopefully, we're looking to have one of those soon, but I'm not seeing it happen.
Us too, but then you can like 40 years down the line tell your kid you played at Stonehill, and your kid just it's a Division I program.
Yeah, I was pretty good back in the day. I played D1.
Yeah, they don't got to know the real history.
Yeah, they don't got.
Thanks, Brendan, so much for coming on. This is a pretty good interview. So I'm stoked to get it put up onto the podcast.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was nice talking to you. And if you ever need me to come back, feel free to reach out. I'm definitely down.
Of course. See you later.
All right, bye. Thank you.